And I would write in Boris Yeltsin.
Yeah. Good morning, students. I'm Lauren Davis.
I'm not.
And that's Michelle Baver. It's just a little Abbott and Costello type humor for you. Little George Burns, say goodnight, Gracie.
My
type
God,
humor.
yeah. Does everybody get that reference? Everybody knows George Burns. He lived until he was like 150 and he had the glasses and cigar.
Mm-hmm. He was
Anybody?
in the film with John Denver, God, You Devil. We've lost anyone under the age of 55 already. That would kill at the
Yeah,
precinct,
actually,
at the election
everyone listening
precinct.
to this. No, that's what I'm just saying is like, this would be a great podcast for all the people who actually vote.
Yeah.
They get bussed into vote. All the old people. This is like what they're doing with the last minutes of their life. They're voting for a Republican.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And then like yelling at me and being like, so, the other day,
right?
the other day, a guy who I know from the retirement community, he printed his ballot and it said he meant to vote for the other guy, but it said Biden Harris on it. So I think there's an error. I was like, I'm pretty sure it did not say Biden Harris on his ticket because they're not running.
Was that George Burns who did that?
It was, George, the ghost of George Burns.
George Montgomery Burns from The Simpsons.
From The Simpsons. Yes, Smithers, they've rigged the election, Smithers.
You really turn me on. That's what the ballot, when you turn it on. That's a Simpsons joke.
That's a really insight. I don't even, what
season? Oh, it's like, I don't know what season it was, but it was, Bart turns on, like, Smithers' computer, and it's, like, a naked Burns.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Smithers, you're turning me on.
Yeah. All right. So today we are discussing the most recent episode of Real Housewives of Orange County, season 18, episode 16. That was the episode that aired Thursday, October 23rd. 23rd.
And we can talk about things that are recent.
Yes,
thank you very much.
So we're gonna get into the recap. Okay, so we start. This was a hot one. This was a hot one, and kind of a hot mess of an episode, I must say.
Yeah, like it was so insane that it was hard for Lauren to keep up with it, and she is like, this is all she's ever done with her life is watch reality TV.
It's all I care about.
This and George Burns.
Tamra, yeah, my two passions, my two majors, double major. Tamra, in fact, is like she's actually invented a new way of doing too much.
I told you she looks like the Babadook.
Yes, and it's like because she is keeping like all of this shit, like it's like even super fans, like she's got so many plots going, so many side characters, and Taylor can testify, and this message. It's like calm down.
She's just literally throwing anything at the wall, just hoping something sticks, and she's just trying so hard to make moments. It reminds me of like when I was like applying for colleges, and I just applied everywhere because I was like, somebody's got to accept me.
Yeah, exactly. Tamra is the you applying to colleges of virtually like trying to get the heat on anyone else but herself. Like, it's like I can't even follow
I know.
her. And she's roped Heather in now, too. And now I can't understand what Heather's saying.
Sweetie, it's okay. I mean, also, we should say that Lauren's very stressed because she has been working, and it's been really tough on our relationship.
Honey, I've been Look, I don't want to get into
girl,
the election in Dallas, but you'll find when all the lawsuits come out, I know I sound like a Republican right now.
Tamra.
I sound like Tamra. When all the lawsuits come out, 10 out of 7 judges said that it was corrupt. No,
Taylor's
it's not.
husband is a lawyer.
Yes, the election is not. It's not rigged. It's not corrupt. It's like incompetence. It's like an insane level of incompetence. Which, you know what, that doesn't discriminate Democrat or Republican. So whoever you are, if you're listening, we love you.
Don't vote.
So let's go to London. Okay, so we pick up in that confrontation. We continue the confrontation from last episode.
The only two people on this show who are getting glam. Everyone else is doing their own glam.
The crones who flew in their glam teams from London. How is Tamra affording to fly?
It's a long trip. I have to say, like, why don't they have, you know how, like, you know, really famous people, like, they have, like, agents in London, and they have them in New York, and they have them in LA. Like, why don't they have glam in London?
Yeah, why doesn't Heather use her? Heather should use her That's Life team makeup artists. Her agents and that. No, it's like, that's so expensive. I don't know how
That's
there
a
are people.
long flight.
Yeah.
California to London. Well, the point is that Heather and Tamra are getting their glam when we pick up, and Jen is still screaming at Tamra, saying, "You did a background check on Ryan," and then Tamra's trying to deny it, and then she's like, "I did, but it was just about real estate."
It's just
And
that
then
he was
she's just
trying to
trying to
sell
defend her actions.
timeshares and all the money went away from the HOA.
Timeshares, and then she's like, "Actually, it was Shannon who wanted the information."
Yeah, and actually Heather is like attacking Jen too, which is like really making Heather look crazy, where like
Heather looks
Tamara's like,
insane this
look,
episode.
I said I'm sorry. And Heather's like, hey, you need to stop screaming and pointing at her. And Jen's like, she's calling like my friggin' almost husband, like, you know, a crazy con
Well,
man.
and she did a background check on him, which is insane. And then, you know, Heather in her confessional, like, I didn't even know that Jen had a voice. It's like, fuck you, Heather. Like, her confessionals this season are really shit.
I know. I'm kind of liking though the dark side of Miss Dubrow. I'm kind of liking
I really didn't like the body shaming of Emily though.
Oh no,
I
think
awful.
I think she's being very unlikable, but like I think it's time for her to have a rough season. It's time.
Okay, well, she looks like shit. The only nice thing that Tamara and Heather said is
They're like,
after
her
Jen's
stomach.
her stomach. She had a good tummy tuck, and Tamara's like, yeah, she doesn't have a belly button. Tamara famously didn't have a belly button for a long time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Vaguely.
She was very famous for it.
All I can think of is her third pair of implants and like her always flashing them, and like then like when because of the blur on it, because it's censored.
You have to do that when you don't have a belly button. You're like, just look at my boobs.
Just look at my boobs, and then they blur them, and it looked like a Barbie's chest because of how like perfectly fake
plump
and plastic. Yeah, but it was like something was disconcerting about it.
Right.
So there's something not erotic to me about Tamra, even though she's a deeply sexual person.
Right.
Okay. So then it's the etiquette lesson.
Which is so crazy. This is also so crazy. Heather's telling Tamra, like, we're going to have, like, an etiquette class. And Tamra's like, what? And they really do.
And this is my thing. It's like, of course they want to have the etiquette class so then they can cut to old footage of the ladies being gross and like, you know, drunk and stuff. But it's like, guys, we don't have time for that. Tamra just fit in like 7 new stories. And now we don't even have time for like the shenanigans of like a lady being like, your fork goes on the right and your knife goes on the left while Emily goes, shit yourself. Like, we don't have time for comedy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
now.
Okay.
We gotta go.
Yes. Shannon's backed up, but she makes it to this dinner.
Yes. So then they go around and they do their like their good and their bad. It's like their pit is their bad. And what's the good one? Peak in their pit. I was like, the pit and the pendulum? I couldn't remember. Okay.
No, it's not the pit and the pendulum. It's very different. This is actually something they took from the Kardashians. It's a very famous segment on the Kardashians, the pit and the peak. They did that with their dad, Robert.
Okay, it's like your rose and your thorn on Salt Lake City.
He's dead, though.
Yeah. So then everyone's doing like normal funny ones because they're like, this is a comedy scene.
My pit is like, I'm constipated on the trip. My peak has been like, we got along.
Yeah, my pit is curling, you know, Emily's hair and all that. And then Tamra, of course, has to take it to a place of Babadook darkness. And she goes, the pit was Jen yelling at me when it's all Shannon's fault. And it's like, Shannon's like,
this is her birthday. Like, this is actually her birthday. Like,
yeah.
This is her birthday trip. Like, I know they do this a lot in house. Like, we're going to go to blah, blah, blah for whatever. But it actually really is her birthday trip. And, like, it is very sad in her confessional. She's, like, trying so hard to not cry and be like, this is the worst trip I've ever been on. And it's just because it's just been, I can't actually imagine how hard it actually would be to have something as horrible as the DUI happen so publicly. Then this woman is on the show dating your ex of many years. And it's just, you're bombarded with it. And then your best friend of many years is shitting all over you and it's on television. Like, that's really difficult.
And I think it's like, Shannon thought she'd get a break. She thought she'd get a little bit of a break. Like, she knew Tamra was coming for her, but she was like, this is on the call sheet as like the comedy night. It's like dinner. Like, we're just gonna have fun.
Babadook?
We're not gonna get, but no, immediately. Like 3 minutes in, full Babadook.
Yeah.
And so Shannon's like,
what was it called? Yeah, it's like,
And then
Shannon's
Tamra's like, you're a liar and you're
oh
a
yeah, and then
person."
Tamra, she's like, Tamra, and then, well, when Shannon's like, this is my birthday dinner, like, don't be mean to me. You're being so mean to me. And Tamra is being mean. And then, Tamra's like, well, you're a
A
drunk.
liar and a
And she
drunk.
keeps,
Yeah.
you're a liar and a drunk. And I was glad that Gina actually said, like, hey, like, you
She was
need
like,
to
"Who
stop
with
saying this.
the alcoholic stuff? My
Like,
God."
well, and she's like, you have to stop saying this. This is her journey. She can decide what's best for her. You don't decide that, and it's making me uncomfortable that you keep bringing this up. And she's
And
not
everyone's saying
wrong.
that. Jen is like, agreed. And so then the Babadook lasers in on Jen. And he's like, you won't
And I'm
take
like,
my side. I'm your friend. You yell at me. I'm
well, and
sorry
I'm
for
like,
having a conversation with a friend about your husband is a bookie. What's he going to do? Put a hit out
hit
on me?
on me? Yeah, this is crazy.
Jesus
And I'm like,
Christ, dude.
is the etiquette teacher still standing right there? Like,
Yeah.
we are way past where to put your fork now.
I think they had to just wave her away because Tamra's like, I got this, honey. I'm going to rock
talk
this
about
bitch.
her husband putting a hit out on me, which is the same as like maybe illegal gambling. I don't know, but like, God, that was so okay. Like that was so past. Like, I mean, Tamara's just like, there's not a line that she won't cross anymore. Like, it's just, it was. I was genuinely shocked by that.
It's just
that
he's
she
just
said that.
like always at a 10. It's like always at a 10, and it's
I've
like
never seen her. This is also what's confusing to me. Like, we're going back and we're recapping all of these seasons. I've never seen Tamara like this.
she used to have levels. She used to
I
have
don't know what.
highs
Well,
and
because it would be
lows.
like she's insane, but like there's sort of a heart, or it's kind of funny, and it's.
She knew how to backpedal. You know, she
But
like
this is so unapologetic. It's so heinous, and it feels like there doesn't seem like a reason for it, right?
well,
Like I don't get it.
and
I
the
don't
worst
know what
crime
she's
of
trying
all,
to do.
I have a theory. The worst crime of all to me, it's very confusing. It's confusing, all of the plots she's through. I can't even follow all your bullshit. And I think it's because she is pre-gaming too hard. She is talking to too many people about all of her ideas, all of her plots. She's got the podcast, so she's got listeners who can follow all this shit, and she thinks everyone can follow all these crazy thought processes, and she's like obsessing and like just cooking so much shit up. Like she sees how much people follow reality TV, and she thinks people can follow all this crazy bullshit. And it's like, honey, we can't. Like, we're getting an edit. We're not just, you realize the whole season isn't just you, every scene you're in, and then every talking head you've ever done. Like, we're only getting snippets of it, and I don't know what the fuck like, I don't know what your point is.
What the fuck they're talking about. And like, here's the thing. They're not even doing anything cool in London. They didn't go to any. They're like, I don't know.
They didn't get releases at the Tower. They didn't get releases at Buckingham.
They didn't even go to the, like, what is it called? The big wheel thing. God, I've been on it. Now I can't remember what it's called. They didn't get Millennium something. I don't know. But anyway, they didn't go anywhere. They just talked about it. They were like, oh, there's big. They didn't get to go to Windsor because the king was there. But then, yeah, it's just like, I guess like, I've been to London, and there are a lot of places that you go where it says, like, you can't, like, have a camera.
But fuck, go to the bridge.
Or at least do it off camera and then, like, talk about it. Like, I was just weird. Like, I'm like, why are they taking an etiquette class? Like, they didn't seem to be doing much this trip except, like,
they're just drinking
Shannon.
and eating and doing glam. Yeah.
It's
like,
fine.
you could have done that in OC.
OC.
Yeah, we're not really getting,
Go to
Reno.
Reno.
Not getting any London.
We're not, no.
Okay.
A constipated, sad Shannon.
Yeah, speaking of which, Shannon the next day wakes up moaning. Moaning Myrtle Shannon.
Moaning Myrtle. Put me back in the bathroom, Daddy. She is so backed up. I'm concerned that she just relies on enemas too much, and that's why she can't poop normally.
That concerns me, her using a lot of enemas and colonics, because we all know she gets them stuck.
Well, cut this, Jason. It's like when I used to abuse laxatives. This is why we need to cut this. I don't want people to know. And I don't want people to think to do that. But like, it was like I had to stop because I found out, well, it's really bad for you. But your body will stop actually, like, pooping normally because it'll just be like, I'll have this assistance. It's like if you, like, take melatonin all the time.
Yeah,
too much
which
of
I
it.
do. Yeah.
Okay, we're back, and now we're back in the podcast. Yeah, I think Shannon does too many enemas.
Yeah.
And she makes them like an event for others. Like, it's like everyone's involved.
Yeah.
David's involved somehow. Like, we're
It's like a
all
water birth,
involved. We're all in
you
the
know?
bathroom with this bloated Shannon.
There's a midwife, like
Right. And I mean, there's Shannon's crying and she's freaking out and she's bloated and fatigued. And I did like that Katie, another one of Katie's initiations the first season is finding a water bottle for Shannon to squirt of her.
yeah.
She's calling around London trying to find Shannon an enema. Whew.
But then they finally do they just take her to the hospital? Or does she
No,
shit
no,
before that?
Katie brings her like the
Oh,
enema,
enema.
and Shannon gives herself the enema, and she says it's like giving birth to twins. That's how much poop came out, and then they're back to have a jolly good time.
Yes, they're back to eating more food. Like, we could have done
They
this in
went
Orange
to a
County,
pub.
another bar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like British food is like it's like so heavy. It's like a British like an English breakfast is literally baked beans and like blood sausage and bread and like boiled tomatoes. It's
Yeah.
like
It's all like
so heavy.
white
It's
foods.
all
White
white.
mush. Yeah.
It's just white.
Yeah.
White people, white mush. It's very heavy. Yeah, there's like nothing in there that's gonna help you poop. Well, maybe the beans, but yeah. But
Yeah.
Shannon does poop, and then they can take the train, or I don't know if they're taking a train. They're going to Windsor though. It's in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice, and that's when things get a little twisted this episode.
Yeah. Okay, so they're at this pub. It's cold as fuck, and so then everybody sits down, and
Because
Heather.
they have to, because their tummy hurts.
Yes, and then Heather sits down next to Shannon, and she's like, "Let's talk." So they go
Oh
outside.
yeah,
And
this was really weird to me the way that Heather did. I was like, you're not acting like a pro right now. Like Shannon's literally like this way talking to somebody, and then Heather's like, "What's that? Why do you have your back to me?" It's like, huh?
I feel like Tamra drew her into the web of overthinking, overplanning. And really, this is proven when they go outside and Shannon's like, so, yeah, I guess we can talk about why did I shared with you in private that, this bloody
The
photo of my
accident. Yeah,
face the night of the DUI. And then you
wait. We
told
gotta
other
just
people.
stop. There's just too much happened. This is so insane that this all was one episode, and we're not
I
even at
know.
the end.
I know,
Like,
but we're so close. We're close to this.
This is crazy that this all happened.
I know. That's what I'm saying. This is why I really blame Tamra. This is
This is why
overstuffed.
you can't work. Like,
It's
I need you.
overstuffed like a Scotch egg, like a sausage, like a bangers and mash. It's stuffed to the gills. It's hard to read.
Right.
We skipped like half of it.
It's
and
like
it's too
King
much.
Charles's fingers.
Yeah.
It's stuffed up.
Swollen. Yeah.
Swollen. He needs an enema for those fingers.
Yes. So Heather's like, well, I told other people because I knew you'd told Tamra, so I thought you'd told everyone, and you were just telling me on camera
By
to
the
get
way,
me sympathy and suck me in.
It's
like,
so
what?
cold outside. Like Shannon's shaking and shivering and has like a heated blanket on.
Yeah.
Crazy. This is her birthday dinner.
And she just gave birth to like a shit baby, and Heather immediately is on her like white on rice, trying to explain this plot thing why she's mad at her that makes no sense. When Shannon's like, sorry, I feel like I should be mad at you because I told you not to like spread that around on camera about the picture.
And then they do flashback to her saying like, don't do that. And she's like, well, I didn't know it wasn't public knowledge because Tamra already knew. But it's like, okay, here's the thing, Heather. You've been doing this way too long. You knew exactly that you weren't supposed to say it, which is exactly why you brought it up. But it's like not in a good way. Like, it's just the OGs here are just sucking ass.
And this is where things really go off the rails. When Heather says, and it makes total sense because back when David Bedore was cheating on Shannon, she told one person and everyone knew. I keep it off camera. We had a confrontation in my house. Flashback to the confrontation in my house. I'm like, okay, I rewatched this whole show. I'm like fucking lost here. Like,
why are we talking about that? Where it's like, I'm asking you to leave.
Yeah, it's like why
it's like the Time Traveler's Wife movie. I'm like, wait, what year is this?
Where am I?
Where am I?
I've become unstuck in time. Like, what's going on?
Like there's some like in all of my favorite types of movies where like women are in crisis, like there's some time missing.
Yes,
they're always like
I've
drunk
lost
and they don't know
time
what's
again.
going on.
Yeah.
That's this episode. I'm like, I need to go outside. I need to touch grass. I'm losing touch with reality.
I feel like
I don't know what's happening.
feel like I am Austin Powers and I was frozen and suddenly, I
Yeah,
love that.
baby, yeah.
I grew up in the future, and I don't know where I belong.
Johnson's here?
What?
Where's
Girl,
Elizabeth
Heather,
Hurley? I'm
where's Heather
so
Graham?
lost.
I'm so lost.
And wait, why is David Bador here?
Yes, the last person I want to see.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
so
Yeah,
then
this
they
is
go in.
I'm enjoying Gina and Emily so much just because I
Yeah.
hate Heather and Tamara so much
Yeah,
right
because they're
now.
at least like being kind of the audience surrogate where they're like, wait, what? Like they're confused too.
Well, because while Heather is attacking Shannon at her birthday, Tamra is telling Gina like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
she's trying to
Shannon."
fuck while Heather fucks Shannon in the ass out on the patio. Heather or Tamara tries to tag team her and fuck her in the ass inside.
No
And
lube between any of these women.
yeah, it's crazy. And so then she's like, "Oh, and by the way, Gina, you're such good friends with Shannon.
Your new
Well,
friend
guess
Shannon,
what?
guess what? She's a horrible person.
She's a horrible person."
She tried to find out that you pushed Travis down the stairs.
Because his ex-wife said it, and then so she went to Taylor when Taylor was on the cast last season, and she went to her husband.
And Taylor's,
she said, "Have John look it up." And then
whoa,
it's like,
whoa.
what are you? Wait, you're bringing Taylor Armstrong into this?
I am impressed that Tamara was able to memorize and deliver that monologue because
it's like it's cutting to so many back and forth between so many pages of text where I'm like, wait, I'm like pause, like I'm like I can't follow any of this. And even Gina, like her eyes are like crossing and uncrossing, and she's like
Travis's ex-wife. What?
And she was like, my thing is like, why are you bringing it up on camera right
yeah,
now?
I do have to say that I do really sort of, I've been like, we give Gina shit just, whatever. But I have to say, like, I do applaud her for like not really talking about something like this on camera because it like affects like her kids and like that relationship with like that, their kid, like the mom and like, all that shit. Like, it's so weird and kind of messy and it's complicated, and so and even if she wants to bring it up on camera, this is not the way that Tamara's bringing it up. Like, that's Gina's story. Okay, well, you have a stroke.
On the other hand, on a TV level, I am a little glad that we are getting resolution on the real reason that Travis moved out, which is that his ex-wife is litigious, which I already know from being a
everyone in the OC.
But let's let the casuals learn. It's because his ex-wife is like,
okay, but I didn't want to learn. Nobody wants to learn it this way from Tamara, who's only saying it because she's upset with Shannon.
Yes.
It's bizarre.
I'm not saying it's a good move by Tamra, but I'm saying, like, I see what she's thinking. She's just lost it. It's like, it's like, that would be a good plot point, but not while you're like, in the same episode that, and pulling up all the texts and going through them and trying to make it blame Shannon, and Heather's out there trying to get Shannon.
It's like this same episode.
Like, that would be a whole episode, I feel like.
Every meal they've had with Tamara on this trip has like been some awful like revelation or horrible thing that she said. She's called her friend Shannon like an alcoholic and a liar and a drunk, and said that Ryan's going to put a hit on her. And now she's telling Gina that, Shannon wants to know if she pushed Travis down. I mean, it's just like crazy. And then like all this happens, and then Shannon comes in from the fucking freezing cold to like
she's mainlining bread.
Like her whatever,
shoving it in her mouth.
Yeah, whatever fucking goose she has to eat in this country. I love it there. And like, then it's like Gina's like, well, now I'm mad at you because you did this thing. And then Shannon's just like,
oh, Jesus Christ. Her mouth is full of like crumbs are flying out of her mouth. Like she's been off carbs for like a year since the DUI, and she can't get them in her body fast enough.
And then it's like she's screaming at Tamara, like, I cannot even believe that you would go so low to talk about this in this way. And she's getting up because this is what Shannon does. Like, she'll confront you for like 2 minutes, and then she's going to walk away and scream and take her mic off and cry somewhere.
And then it's so funny. And then it cuts to her confessional. It cuts to her confessional, and she says, I think me leaving that dinner, that's growth. That's something different. I'm like, you do that every time. It's so funny that she's like, I really grew up. It's like 5 times this season. Okay, anyway, so you can get to the good part now.
Okay, I have to say, as hard to watch as this episode was because of Tamra, like, this scene was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on Housewives
It's really
ever.
good. It's really
so
good.
good because it's just like, in a way, it's like the most, like, Tamra's being a bitch and getting yelled at by her friend, and Tamra's ruining a moment. But, like, it's just there's so much comedy. It's like squawking Shannon at her best. Like, you know, she just wants to, eat her bread. And Tamra's ruining that. And then the waiters all come out because this is Shannon's fucking birthday. Stassi Schroeder reference. And they're holding a cake that says, like, happy 60th, and they're singing that birthday song, and the candles are lit.
Shannon isn't even there. Nowhere to be seen.
She's
like outside in the front.
Pushing the people out of the way, not even realizing this cake and all this stuff is for her, and just, like, screaming at a producer outside and taking her mic off and, like, walking into, like, a castle or something.
Yeah.
She walks away.
And everyone's like, wait, no,
oh
wait,
God, no. This is your cake. And then,
Tamra ruins it.
And she's
by
like,
being like,
for me, bitch.
Yeah. And then being
But
like,
it was a
happy
funny thing.
birthday to me. I was like, Tamra, it's like you've lost your touch. This was such a funny moment. You did the one thing to make it less fun.
Well, and yeah, that was the other thing. It was like, before she did that, like, everyone's like not sure how to react because it is just so funny that Shannon's doing this.
They're like,
and they're like, but wait, Shannon. And they're like, I don't know what to do. This is insane. And they're trying so hard not to.
They're trying to tell the waiters, but the waiters are like in full bass profundo. They're like, happy birthday. They can't hear.
Well, because like the actors over there, they're so highly trained.
Right, breath work is big.
Yeah, they all have BAFTAs. All those waiters.
All those
they
waiters.
All have a BAFTA.
Yeah, it's a prerequisite for working at a pub.
Yeah, if you want to be on a pub and bring Shannon a cake, you have to have a BAFTA.
And then everyone else is confused and laughing, and Tamra's like, I know how to really seize the moment. Happy birthday to me. Okay, but that really did sums up the episode.
Oh my God, it's like, okay, and then at least like next time is the finale because I can't take much more of this.
No. And I'm excited about the finale. I'm this time they won't do a sneak attack John Jansen. I'm prepared to see John Jansen, so I think I'm going to shit my pants a little less because last time it was like, ghoul.
I know, so scary. It's so scary. He's so scary.
It's perfect for Halloween night, which is when it will be released. So I'll say, Gus, you're trick-or-treating alone. I gotta spend time with my girls. I gotta see John Jansen.
Well, he can trick-or-treat with his father and our mother.
I mean, let's face it, he's 12 years old. It's like...
Does he still trick-or-treat?
Yeah, this will probably be his last one, so I guess I'll hit some of it. But then 8 p.m., Mama's got to watch your stories.
Okay, by the way, speaking of trick-or-treating, like, people need to stop handing Tootsie Rolls and, like, Smarties. Yeah. Like, stop being cheap, okay? Yeah. Just turn the light off if you're not going to get a Snickers or Milky Way to the children. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I agree.
Because, like, my daughter's 3, so when we go trick-or-treating, she gets tired. She doesn't want to go to a ton of houses. We only, like, hit, like, 3 or 4. And it's, like, Tootsie Rolls for days. I blow my brains out. It's so rude. It's so rude.
You should drive into... You know who I bet?
I'm going to drive into a house like Shannon did.
You should...
And I'm going to bring it, and you can bring it up. And you bring it up to me every fucking scene we ever have together. At least drive my car to a house. You liar and you drunk. Happy birthday to me.
I was going to say, do you know who I bet knows all the good Dallas houses that would have good trick-or-treat
and
candy?
Not the best houses to drive your car into.
I bet he would know those too, honestly. Like the biggest, the fanciest, the flashiest. Because he knows everything that's cool and hot and sexy about Dallas. That is our guest, Chris James Cale, who will be with us in just a moment. Stay tuned.